What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back into the Hook 937 YouTube channel. As we talked about in our last video, today we're getting started on the 2001 Dyna FXDXT, the T-Sport. Before I start dismantling this bike, I do want to get it back out on the road one last time. It's got some old fuel in it. I don't want the carburetor to get too gummed up, so we're going to run it down the road. But to do that, we need to put the battery in it. We did purchase a battery a while ago. Well, when I was getting involved here, getting started here, let me show you. I was like, dang, it's real busy under here. So under here is where I'm talking about, and it's real busy, and I cut out. So this is a factory trickle charger, and this is a plug for heated gear. And then I added this security module when I lived in Europe, and then we went full LED on it. So it's got this equalizer box in there. In 2018, the charging system went out on this bike, and it left me on the side of the road in Austria, and we had the bike towed back to Germany. But they put a new stator and regulator on it. Well, when they put the regulator on it, they ran these wires all the way up to the battery, and these are some kind of thick wires. You got the ground wire and I got the power wire, and it's just, there's extra, and it just was kind of tight. So I cut out all this stuff, and then I was looking at this, I was like, man, that's not right. I don't think that's right. So I whipped out the manual here and taking a look at the manual. The voltage regulator power wire is supposed to be hooked up down here, and I don't know if this is some sort of update, but we're going to hook this power wire up here. We're going to run this ground wire to the frame like it's supposed to. We're going to get all this stuff away from the battery, and then we're going to hook the battery up the way it's supposed to be hooked up. And we did switch over to a lithium battery, so that's going to be cool. So I'm going to put you guys up on the tripod here. I'm just going to get busy, and we're going to hopefully get this bike running in the next few minutes. Underneath the seat here, this is nice and clean now. I got a trailer wiring harness tapped in here too, so yeah, it definitely was busy before. I got to get the bolts to hold this back down, but everything's real clean now, a lot less wiring. Alright, so I'm coming to you from the future, but we've changed the battery on the bike. We got the bike running. Everything's healthy with the bike for the most part. But one thing that we desperately need to do on this bike, one thing that these early twin cam motors are known for, is cam chain tensioner failure. So if you don't know, these motors have a cam chain tensioner that is spring applied and is max tension all the time, and they're known to fail. And my bike's got a pretty decent amount of miles on it. We're sitting at 39,980 miles, and it's probably like on the edge, maybe not, but we're going to take this cam cover apart and check it out and see. There's several options that we'll discuss once we take a look at the health inside, where we want to go with this. But for now, man, I just can't rip this bike apart 20 miles shy of 40,000 miles, so I'm going to rip it up the road. I'm going to do 20 little miles by the time we get home, and then maybe tomorrow we'll start pulling this cam chest apart and seeing what the health of this motor is and what our options are from there. Well, there you have it. OG DXT, 40,000 miles, and Neptune's net. It's just a few miles from the house. It's not too far, but she's got 40,000 miles on her now. It's time to open that cam chest, see what's going on. Right here in the garage, we're working on the Dyna, and I think it looks a little bit different than the last time you've seen it. We got a lot of things to discuss. I made a big boo-boo, but we went ahead and fixed that, and now we're at the point where we're getting ready to measure our crankshaft runout. But before you see that, I'm gonna go ahead and show you where I messed up, and then we're gonna measure this runout and go over some options at the end of the video. And I'm looking forward to your guys' comments on what we discuss down below. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. You guys know that there's the potential that we got something going on behind this cam chest. Now, we're lucky because we haven't ran into any catastrophic failure, but these engines are known for cam chain tensioner failure. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this thing off for the first time in about maybe 8.5 years and take a look at the health of this thing and see what we're dealing with. So that it works exhaust, foot pedal. I just bet tonight this thing off. All right, so what we're dealing with, cam chain tensioner. See that thing right there? It's pretty wore out, pretty thin. Now, obviously, because it's spring tension, it's max load all the time up against this thing. And that's not good for a couple of reasons. You don't need max load at idle, and it wears that out. And so what we're gonna have a problem with is seeing what's going on back in there. But let me grab a flashlight and we'll see what we can see. Which, this one. Boom. I'll have to do all that later anyhow. There's our timing set. And part of the reason it tears through that so fast is just the type of chain here that's used. Cam plate. There we go. Well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever done. Guys, don't ever accuse me of being smart. I just took the freaking cam plate out and I totally forgot about the push rods and lifters. So, anyways, that front cam chain tensioner, like we said, pretty smoked, but the back one doesn't look bad, boys. All right, so now that y'all got to see my rookie mistake, I'll tell you everything I had to do to fix it. Best way, I took the fuel tank off, then I took the rocker covers off, then I took the rockers out, then I was able to get the push rod tubes out of the way, and then I was able to get the push rods out, and then I was able to ultimately get the lifters out, and now our boo-boo is undone. And so now that our boo-boo's undone, we get to do what I was excited to do. I bought this tool a couple of years ago. And what this tool does is this measures our crankshaft runout. And we want our runout to be as low as possible. And I believe if you want to go gear drive, it has to be less than 5. Maybe it's 3, but I'll set these two windows up. +5, -5. I got the bike in gear, and we're gonna just rotate the rear tire, and we're gonna see, for the first time ever, what the runout of our crankshaft is. And this will kind of give us an idea, a small idea, a look into the health of the motor. So let's go ahead and rotate this. And if that is the true runout, which it definitely is, I'm blown away. You can see the dial indicator resting on the crankshaft there. We got her zeroed out. That is on the crankshaft. No doubt about it. This is a healthy motor. Now let's talk about some options. All right, so I'm just going to go over a couple of options that we have when it comes to repairing this bike inside of the cam chest. First option here is just to simply replace the inner and outer cam chain tensioners with basically what's already in there, spring applied, 65 bucks. If we're going to do that, we're going to have to go ahead and do the gaskets and bearings. Not a big deal. This is coming in around 185 bucks. I think it said 183 there. Go ahead and replace the gaskets and the bearings. And this is a good option because, well, it's the cheapest option, and it lasted 40,000 miles in the last setup, and we didn't have catastrophic failure yet. So, I think that this is a viable option for us. But, if we want to look at some more options, I think what a lot of guys do is they end up going with this hydraulic conversion. So this is a good kit for the money, 850 bucks. Comes with a new oil pump, upgraded plate, couple of new gears, new chains. You got the lifters, and then it includes all the gaskets and the bearings and everything else there is also included with that. One thing I want to point out about these first two options, neither one of these two options come with lifters, and lifters is something that I'm going to end up changing. That's about a couple hundred extra bucks. So if we look into upgrading from there, this is yet again an even better oil pump and even better cam plate. Also comes with the set of lifters, and again the tensioners, the hydraulic tensioners, the gears, the chains, all that stuff, gaskets, bearings. Now what's nice about these is when you're at an idle, you're not making max pressure. You can or your tensioner's not applying max force. It's just at an idle, right? So one thing I want to say about the first three options, none of them come with camshafts. We're going to be running factory camshafts. So if we look at this is another option. Same as the last kit, but it comes with a set of cams and a set of single piece push rods. Those 525 cams, and it's a full hydraulic conversion as well. Comes with the lifters. Like I said, everything that the last kit had. This is running in about 1,900 bucks. Now I do have a buddy who's a dealer. He could save me some money on this stuff a little bit. But then we go for top dog option here. Never have to worry about tensioners again. Go gear drive. The only thing I don't like about this kit is it comes with these adjustable push rods, but it's got a nice S&S cam plate, oil pump, gear drive, a set of aftermarket cams, gear drive on the pinion side as well, bearings, lifters, everything you need, minus some of those top end gaskets. We'll have to get those separate, and it doesn't have single piece push rods. This is running just a hair over 2,200 bucks. It's only a few $100s more than the last option, so maybe it is worth it to go gear drive. But here's the rabbit hole I go down every time. If I'm going to spend over $2,000 putting cams in this thing, maybe I should just go ahead and put a big bore kit on it. Set of jugs, set of pistons. It's only 1,500 bucks. You couple that with the price of the cams, and then you're sitting right about here. This is a power pack. This is a few $100s off of what it would be to buy the two things separate. This is the cam kit I was just showing you. This is the big bore kit I was just showing you. And, we're going from 65 bucks to 3,500 bucks here. This is the big thing. So when I'm looking at this, I start to think, what does it not come with? One of the things it doesn't come with is cylinder heads, right? Because if we're going to build the engine, we should build the engine. So now we're going to add this 1,800 bucks on it at 3,500 bucks. I start to go down the rabbit hole. Now we're at 5,300 bucks, and we're stock crank, we're stock rods, we're stock rocker arms. We still have all this factory stuff, right? So then I just start looking at these 8,600 bucks, full kit, full everything top to bottom. This thing's going to come with our gear drive cams. It's going to have forged rocker arms. It's going to have aftermarket flywheel, aftermarket pistons, rods. It's going to have the upgraded oil pump, cam plate. This thing's also going to come with a 2-year warranty, unlimited mile warranty. It's got cylinder heads. It's got everything you need. But I'm not spending $8,600 on this bike right now. Definitely not on the motor. I'm just trying to find something that I'm comfortable with to keep the 88 running for a little while longer. Maybe I should go with this option. Maybe I should go with this option. You know, like I said, these are some of the more cheaper options, and then I always wind up here. This is the dilemma. I go down the rabbit hole, and it's the, well, if I'm going to do this while you're in there, and I wind up at an $8,600 option. All right, so there it is, you guys. You see sort of the dilemma that I struggle with every single time I think, what should I do? I've been going back and forth on this thing for years, but I've kind of backed myself into a corner now where we have to do something, right? Because we pulled the whole thing apart. We're not putting it back together the way it is. So a couple of things I want to say. I think the bike runs great on stock cam, stock displacement. I've never had a complaint. Now, I'm not out doing wheelies or like high speed runs or anything like that, but I've always loved the way that this bike runs. And two, that 124 motor, that's not an option. That's sort of like an end goal. That's something I would really like to do in the future. We're not spending $8,600 right now. Everything else is kind of like, how much money do I want to spend in the median? But I'm curious to see what you guys think. You know, is this a motor that I should spend a lot of time and money on and just forget about the 124 and go ahead and go gear drive, and maybe I could slowly upgrade the motor over time? It'll always be stock crank stock rods because I'm never going to split the case. Or should I go with the cheapest option? Should I go with something in the middle? I'm really curious to see what you guys think. If you want to see this bike build, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Drop me a comment down below. I'm really curious to hear you guys' opinion because I'm still kind of stuck in the middle and I just want to hear from some people out there. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I'll catch you guys on the next one.